Good morning, traders. Hope you all had a great weekend. Well, let's see what's going on here to start our week. Here's the S&P futures, and where are they here? We are pretty much even from Friday, up 1/4 of a point. We're up earlier, as you can see. They tested the top of the range up here, and the 20 MA, which is rolled over the top of prices at this point. So prices are stuck between this little resistance area right here and this area of major support. You can see buyers have been stepping up. See the bottoming tail, the big red bar down, no follow through, reversal back up again. So as we go into the week here, the question is, do prices follow through to the buying that came into the markets on Friday? So as we look at the intraday chart here, and the overnight, actually 24 hours, this low that formed here last week, prices are testing it, and this is where day traders are going to step up and give it a shot here, and if not, it opens up to falling back down. Now, here's a concept about big green bars like this, and the opposite, when you got a big down bar like this. So here's the down bar intraday, actually right in this area right here. And here is the big green bar as you look at the intraday prices. So these big bars obviously are signaling weakness in the case of a down bar and strength in the case of an up bar. And they are momentum moves in a smaller time frame. So while they do signal that weakness and or strength, if they don't follow through, it just opens up the door to an extreme amount of weakness. So you can see what happened here is the weakness didn't follow through. Prices retraced, strongly right back up again, and that could happen where prices go right back down as they enter this little mini void here. You say I've marked off the big, large void here on the S&Ps. Some of you are saying, "Oh, what is this void?" Well, it's a concept that I developed as far as educational purposes to explain price structure where there's no support. So these momentum moves, here's a little mini momentum move here, and here's a big momentum move, whereas there is no support to the left. And what happens is once you've entered the void, the potential for a large trending move develops because there's no place to place, in this case to the downside, for traders to place bids based on support reference points. Now, some will be using their Fibonacci levels or trend lines or some moving average reference point. Those can come into play, but ultimately it's about price, not about voodoo indicators and holy grail type of mysterious proprietary lines on charts. Institutional traders, professional traders primarily rely on price reference points. And when there are none, it opens up the door to bigger moves. As you can see, intraday, this was a bigger move. And if this starts to break down here, it opens up the door to a bigger move to the downside. And ultimately, this major support point becomes a critical reference point because it opens up the door to a big move to the downside. So all of that being said, the question is, can prices go sideways here a bit this week and get it going, or do we go down? And this is ultimately just a sloppy big trading range that has developed over the last month or so. All right, so let's take a look at the NASDAQ. This is where more of the damage has been done. Buyers came in on Friday, and you can see the red light, green light kind of Christmas tree effect here, if you will. But on Friday, buyers came in, as traders came back from vacation, and so now can they follow it through back up to this resistance area here where these moving averages are converging together. And so let's see where that is intraday. So 750, 720. Really nothing there because of, again, the big momentum move. And this is why moving average reference points can be very subjective. Actually, what's to the left there? So as we look at price and we look to the left of 57.20-ish, there's nothing there because of the big move to the downside. So those reference points on a daily chart will come into play, but if prices don't turn back down from the subjective reference point, it's going to open up the door to a larger move to the real reference point, which is up here around 57.75 or 80. All right, so now, while prices are probably going to be chopping around here at the beginning of the week, some of the things that I'm interested in here from intraday plays is Costco potentially following through to the downside, which it is this morning. There's no support here. Here's a void right there. And a lot of what's on my interest list for intraday here is retail. KR, which had a big down move and now is starting to roll back over again. We'll see if that can break. Walmart, can it break below this little range right here? TJX, maybe it's going to follow through to the downside. And I like these little bases that form intraday with a daily pattern, meaning this moved down. And so I don't want to chase it to the downside, but now it had a couple of resting days, which is a little base here. So if it starts to break below the base, that opens up the door possibly to coming down into that lower area there. Yelp, another base here, opens up the door possibly to a move to the downside. And on the upside, what's on our list for subscribers is possible play here in Tesla, since it's extended to the downside and into an area of major support. Can we get a bounce out of this early in the week here? So not really doing it. It is up several points here, actually coming in from the highs, but we'll see if it can hold this area and get something going to the upside there. So bit of a long video here for pre-market, but good luck in this week's trading, and we'll talk tomorrow.